And here we are on Whirlwind, and down in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, we have our red Terran player from Empire. It is Kas, and he's trying to close things out against Team Dignitas. There, guys, here in the top left-hand corner, our blue Terran player trying to tie things up and send us to an ace match. It's SeleCT.
All right, SeleCT, we've already said earlier, will be attending IPL 5, so you could go see him if you come to our event. IGN.com/IPL5 for all that information. And Kas, I don't think he's actually qualified. I'm pretty sure Johnny Rico is, though. And,
yes,
and
I believe so.
Zikta Mini, of all people, is actually just another British player. That's why I kind of lumped them in together. And
we're trying to work on some elephants, possibly, to attend.
So we're going to have
yes.
players from the continent of Africa. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that'll be a first, I think.
Well, there may be elephants in the room. Anyway, that's all I'm saying.
In which room specifically? The Chelsea Ballroom?
The Chelsea Ballroom at the
okay.
Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas from November 29th to December 2nd, which is when IPL 5 is, coincidentally. And as Josh mentioned before, IGN.com/IPL5 is where you need to go because we have tickets on sale there. We really want to see you guys out there. So tweet at us, at Kevin Aki, at SJosh, if you guys are going to be in attendance, because we want to see who's going to be out there.
Yeah, if all of you guys come and say hi to us, we will give you high fives and take pictures with you if that is what you wish.
Even hugs if you want.
No, I don't know about that. I don't think we're contractually obligated to give hugs.
Or high fives for that matter.
Yeah,
but
you're lucky with the high fives. Let's just keep it at that.
I get requested to give people hugs a lot, though. So.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's because you're just
large and
able
jolly.
to envelop a lot of people, so they just feel safe and not scared.
Kevin Aki, providing a feeling of safety since 1987.
It depends on your beard length at the time also, I think.
It's getting pretty long now again.
If you're Grizzly Adams status by the end of...
Grizzly Adams did have a beard.
He did have a beard. And another Happy Gilmore reference today. That's 2 thus far, Shooter.
Yeah!
All right, so Kevin may or may not have a beard by IPL 5. I definitely will not have a beard unless I steal Kevin's, which, could still happen.
Possible.
So, we'll just see where that's at by then.
All right. Well, Barrick's coming up for Kazi. He's actually bypassed gas for quite a while after both players did decide to command center first. SeleCT, though, decided to put up his refinery before Barrick, so he's going to have some nice gas available very, very soon. In fact, he's going to have just enough for a factory as soon as this Barracks is finished up. Whoa,
all right.
My cursor go over there.
Once the factory... Where's their cursor?
I don't know.
Get on it. All right, so factory coming up. Actually, is it finished already?
No, just started.
Oh, okay, just started.
Yeah.
You were future seeing things like in Minority Report or something.
That's right.
You just totally knew it was going to happen. Either way, Command Center actually coming up for Kas. That's going to be his third there inside of his main. All right, so he's looking to play a little bit more macro style, a little bit confident that he's going to be able to stay alive through any of SeleCT's aggression. So, we'll get to see as we continue here if SeleCT is actually, in fact, going to be aggressive or if he's just going to, go that normal route, one factory, one starport, try to get some damage done with a Banshee, perhaps, or if he's going to switch just into MMM. Another reactor coming up now means that some Hellions could be poking out here soon, and Kas is just going a little bit more bio-heavy.
Yes, he is. Going up for 3 racks now. He still has not gotten any gas. There we go. Adding those on, of course, he's not as worried about going for his tech as much as he wants to start getting out units with going with this very greedy economic strategy. Now, if he pulls this off in about 3 or 4 minutes, his infrastructure is going to be absurd, and he's going to have a massive amount of SEVs and income coming into him.
How absurd is absurd? I mean,
very absurd.
I mean, I kind of believe that he's able to do it. It's not that absurd.
Oh, I mean, I'm talking like 10 or 15 SEVs more absurd.
Whoa.
That's just crazy.
That's so absurd. Anyway, Starport going up for SeleCT. Did not see a tech lab placed down yet, so I'm curious if he's just going to plop it onto the reactors.
I'm going to recheck workers at the 9-minute mark, by the way.
Okay.
So.
All right, that's fine. But I didn't see a reactor, or sorry, a tech lab for SeleCT. So he's actually just going to make a Viking really quickly, and perhaps just flip it on over to that reactor and make some medevacs go MMM style. Actually, he's got very limited production still. So I'm not sure what he's going to be doing a couple of minutes from now.
He could expand it a bit. No, he actually called down supplies and threw down an engineering bay. He still has over 400 minerals, though, if he wants to put down another command center in the midst of all of this, but hasn't chosen his path quite yet.
Show us what you want to do, Select. It's so confusing. Okay, a couple more barracks adding on now. I do still expect to see that starport flip onto the reactor, but it looks like he wants to actually do some damage with Hellions, as he's built quite a number of them so far. Kas, on the other hand, with just a bunch of Marines standing around, lazy, shooting at stuff, you know, just undisciplined, kind of all over the place. Engineering bay coming up for him as well to be able to get those upgrades rolling. Factory finally getting added on for Kas. And yeah, he'll be able to start making some Hellions of his own. But Select has shown up with his first 4. Is he going to be able to actually poke in there? It looks like, I think, Marines, a ton of Marines actually, at the top of the ramp for Kas should be able to prevent any damage from them.
He can give himself vision with the Viking, though, which is nice. And even though the Hellions have the same range as the Marines are in a good position. They'll form a better concave and be able to do a little bit more damage. But if they're clumped up, Select could do something pretty intense here. Almost loses 1 Hellion, only manages to take out 1, now 3 Marines. Hasn't lost 1 Hellion yet. Should probably cycle that to the back here in a second.
Yeah, actually more damage than I thought he would be able to do with the Hellions already. If he continues poking like this, Kas doesn't have a bunker up, so that could actually be kind of his downfall as more Hellions are actually showing up. They can sear through these pretty darn quickly with those flames doing splash damage. Look, he still has not lost a Hellion. Select's control is really good. There's the Viking actually going down as well, so he was doing a lot of damage up in the air to that Viking rather than the Hellions. Oh, another Viking actually landing for Select. This is really kind of bizarre. That's kind of an expensive unit to be doing this with, but he's going to pick off 2 Marines, perhaps even a 3rd. Nope, Viking is going to go down. That was
weird.
Yeah, that was the word I was going to use.
9 minutes. Hey, look at that 9 worker difference. Told you it'd be insane.
You said 10 to 15.
Shh, I said 10.
No, you said 15 plus.
No, I didn't.
You said 48 drones.
You
There's
are
no drones.
Silly. You are just absurd, Mr. Sutherland.
If Kas had more drones than Select, though, that would be absurd.
Yeah, it would, actually. Hey, he's got 4 drones.
Well, that's absurd.
Interesting.
All right, there's an armory coming up now for Kas. He is still on heavy bio, so probably just using that to get the extra 2-2 upgrades from the engineering bay. Select, on the other hand, looks like he's getting siege tech and stem and +1 weapons, but he still hasn't really revealed what he wants to do as a sort of overarching strategy. 2 more barracks being added on makes me think heavy bio medevac play. So they're going to be kind of competing on that front. Siege tech up actually being researched for both. So tank marine with some medevacs sprinkled in. Pretty much the same for either player.
Upgrade advantage is going to go to Kas, though. The armory's only now started for Select, and Kas already has 1-1 done, moving up to 2-2 hopefully pretty soon, or so I would imagine. Whereas for Select, he's actually behind a full upgrade at the moment and won't be able to start +2 weapons for a while.
All right, there's that +2 weapon. Don't see +2 armor yet. Needs a little bit more gas. Should be starting on that, though, as soon as he's able to. And he can just keep churning out Marines, spending all his gas on upgrades. Would let him get a pretty sizable force up. But Select looks like he is loading up a medevac to try and get some damage done with Hellions once again. He only took out some Marines last time, no workers. So we'll see if he's actually going to be able to take advantage of this wide open base. There are actually a lot of Marines standing around just above that. But Kas is moving out already with them.
Okay, well, he's pulling everything away, and this could give the opportunity that Select needs to do some economic damage. But, of course, then he would still have to defend a massive, massive army. And we talked about the economic advantage earlier that Kas had given himself. Now on a 3rd base that's already saturated, you can see how the economy has really gone in his favor. He's up in upgrades, he's up in units, he's up by 40 supply. Things are looking really good for him.
All right, so Select executed his drop, but is not taking advantage of it, and now Kas has plenty of time to run over there, so Select is either going to lose this or just have an ineffective drop. It looks like he is actually just going to pack up and get out of there without killing anything. Unfortunately, he could have actually killed a lot of workers. Now he needs to really focus here on trying to defend. This is a ton of Marines. The medevacs overhead trying to keep them alive through the siege tank blast. That's going to be a tall order, though. Here in the 3rd base, Kas still has a large standing force trying to take out this orbital command. It looks like that's not even going to get it started burning, though, unfortunately for Kas. So he's going to actually turn around. Select might push out to try and deal with this, or he may just hang back and make it so that Kas can't press in. Look at this. This is a way better target here for these Hellions anyway, because any Marines that pop out will have to run all the way around. The Hellions are actually going to get picked off very quickly by those Stim Marines, though.
Okay, well, Kas actually defends that pretty well. He only had half his forces out on the map, which show you how much he truly has at the moment. Still up by 46 supply and just about to finish up 2-2 upgrades in a bit. So he is behind in mech weapons altogether, but he's up base. He's adding on 2 more factories, so we'll be able to triple produce tanks and eventually even towards the late game be able to move into Thors if he needs them.
Yep, and Kas still with the bio upgrade advantage with +2/+2 finishing soon. He's adding on another factory and a couple of tech labs, so he's going to be able to make a whole bunch of tanks. Select loading, actually unloading that drop just above Kas's natural. Kas is still actually going to move out once more. He's got some scouts kind of situated ahead. He could actually load up and try to get a bunch of damage, and I think Select actually has some turrets sprinkled around. Yeah, he does. Only 2, so actually not so many that it's impossible to drop in there, but we'll see what he's actually got planned. I think he is actually loading up.
He's delayed that orbital command for so long as well. And it looks like he will maybe siege up these tanks to pick away one of the turrets before he starts to move in. And that's what he's trying to do, but of course the turret still has a little bit of health, but it's going to burn to the ground with the next shot.
Ooh, that medevac so close to dying, and actually Select does pick it off with still some units inside, but this is a lot for Kas. He sieges up immediately inside, and he still has the tanks on the opposite end by that third base location. Select tries to come in, but obviously Kas has a ton of units still remaining, and he is looking in great shape to be able to camp these production facilities. Select knows it's over, and GG's out of there. Empire takes their first series in this Contender Division group.
That's right, and that's a pretty big development because Dignitas was actually fighting to go through to the next round, but now they're 1-2, the same that Empire is.
Yeah, everybody's 1-2 except for Karante sitting 2-0, and NSOCio's 1-1. So obviously Karante and NSOCIO still have to play each other to determine where NSOCIO will end up. But with map score, actually, so Empire just won 5-3.
Correct.
So that will put them at 10-13?
Yes.
That's
so they're
not a great score.
They're at 10-13. Dignitas is actually now at 10-11. So they do have a better map score than Empire. So basically what they need is for Karante to crush the souls of NSOCIO.
Which currently is at 6-7.
That's right. So NSOCIO actually has to lose. They can't, well, I mean, if they win, they're guaranteed to go through because they'll have a 2-1 record. They'll have the better record in the group. If they lose, though, Dignitas really needs them to lose by a lot. So they can't win more than about 3 or 4 games.
Hang on. Dignitas is sitting at, sorry, one more time.
They're sitting at 10-11.
So if NSOCIO wins 4 games and loses, that was put them at 10-11 also.
Yeah.
So who won between them? Dignitas
They'll actually
won.
be 10-12. So because if they lose,
you're right.
If HOSA loses, they've lost 5 games.
Gotcha.
So if HOSA wins, they move through. If they lose, Dignitas moves through.
All right. So big important match next week. It's all up to Karante. Dignitas hoping that their European brethren, I guess, not really because they're competing against each other, but they want the Europeans to win over the Koreans essentially next week.
All right, well, that is it for us tonight. Please do check out the IGN Pro League on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube is at IGN Pro League. Our IPL5 site is up at IGN.com/IPL5. You can check out ticket deals there, discounted hotel rooms, and everything about the tournament from schedule to players that are participating to tournament structure itself. So I think that's it for us tonight. You can also follow us on Twitter. I'm at Kevin Naki. He is at AskJoshi.
And this weekend, we mentioned it a number of times, but we're actually going to be playing at a Magic Grand Prix in San Jose. This is what we're going to be competing in.
Yeah.
Not StarCraft or League of Legends or Shootmania or anything. We can't compete in our own tournaments, so we're just going to go play Magic instead, and hopefully we'll do well there. If you follow us on Twitter, you can kind of keep track of how we do and stuff like that. I'm looking to make a couple of grand this weekend. How about you?
If you're at the event, come by and say hi, too. So we'd certainly like to meet you guys. So that is going to be it for us tonight. You have a wonderful night. And if you're so inclined, head on over to twitch.tv/IPL Shootmania right now as we have the semifinals and finals going live for our next qualifier, for our NA qualifier. So we'll see you then.